Hope you are doing well. Mas on Sundays with Mas Sajady. Here I am into the new world, right? Into the new year. It actually is a new world. By the way, I didn't make a mistake. It's crazy. I don't know if you all felt it, but some of those XIers, did you notice that there's kind of a haze, over as we came into January 1st here, right? That haze is all that garbage leaving. It's basically all the lies that we've had in the world that's leaving, and new stuff is coming in. It's the newness, it's a freshness. But as those lies start to dissipate or start to move away, and this is one key factor, as before we get into the topic on how to change my life, how to change my life for the new year, right? Because, well, you don't have to worry about how to change your life that much for the new year. You have to change your life for this new year. That's the key. And the reason why you have to is because the universe does not support, say, this software version anymore. Okay, and that's highly, highly important. So I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff out there for you, but a lot of things happening for you in the new world, and the new year doesn't really start, I'm guessing, till about late January or even February 1st. The Chinese New Year is actually perfect because they go on the logistics or the momentum or the phases of the moon, right, Pepe? Yeah, they go by the phases of the moon. So it's like a year is like literally one cycle, right? One Earth cycle around the sun. So, and it's not exact. And that's why the whole phase goes on the universal time, not man time, which is highly important as well to note, because as we go into the future, we're going to be more predicated or dictated by the universal time, not what we think it is. So, again, a lot of happy new year for all of you guys. It's going to be a fantastic year for those who are awakened, for those who are ready to, take the bull by the horns. I was going to say something else, but anyway, take the bull by the horns and really, go out there and do their thing and claim who they are. And if you're not going to do it, take that bull by the horn, take take control of your life. Well, it'll magnify whatever has taken you, whatever has controlled you in the past. It's going to control you a lot stronger. Okay, a lot of some people saying hi to you, Fefe. So that's so sweet. Alrighty. So again, the key is how to take control of your life, because if you're not going to take control of your life this year, somebody else will, and it'll magnify the burdens or the distortions or the chaos that you are having. Okay, you can't take that with you. So that's one key note. The other key note is, like I said, even if you're not willing to change, you're going to change this year. Okay, and the reason why is very simple. Like I said, the software version of this, say, reality, of this time frame, right, of this simulation is changing. Okay, so for example, if you're using Microsoft, or you're using a Mac system, operating system, what happens, right? They give you a certain time. It's like, hey, we're going to upgrade to this certain version, right? They give you a certain time, and if you don't upgrade to that certain version by that time, well, things start to dysfunction. They don't function as well. They break down, right? Things don't communicate well with each other. So you get basically forced to upgrade. And as you get forced to upgrade, well, you're in the new operating system. The same thing here. It's just not a computer upgrade. It is an upgrade of how this reality works. Basically an upgrade on the physics, the deeper layer physics on how this reality works. Okay. So that, which means time and space is changing for you, which means that time and space become more transparent or more efficient, which means that you cannot, say, hide alternate aspects of you that aren't true. Does that make sense to you? Many of you, for example, you're human, but then you forgot you're human. And then what do? You create yourself. Oh, I'm a business person. I'm the CEO. Oh, I am a woman in a CEO position. So you're 2 steps away. So that's a lie for you. So, and I know it goes a little deep, but just let it settle in. But say that you're human. Okay. You're human. And then you go, and nowadays, you're even messed up on being a man or a woman. It's like, okay, I'm a woman. Okay. So you just step from this simulation of you to this simulation of you. Okay. And then what happens is that you're a human woman, and then you are a CEO or a mother or a wife, or I don't know who, whatever you are, but you're a CEO. So that's 3 simulations over that you've rendered yourself. Okay, and then you're a woman, and then you're a mother. You've got this other simulation, and then you're a best friend to somebody. You're a daughter to your parents. You've got this other simulation. So all those, from my point of view, or from XI's point of view, XI physics point of view, is a lie, because those other simulations are further away from you being human. The reason why that's important in this Moss on Sunday is that this is the year that that more and more people are wanting to feel human. How do you do that? It's not sacrificing yourself. That's another key too. It's not sacrificing. It's like a lot of people, they've stayed home, from COVID and all that, right? They've been forced to stay home, and they started to realize, or their life has been challenged on what's really important. How many of you, again, comment in, how many of you have realized, gosh, it's like that money thing, right? What I've slaved away from, it's taking me from being human. And then you go, I need to let go of that money, or I need to work less and enjoy, life more. You won't experience that. You won't experience the happiness of just being by yourself. You might a little bit, but then over time, over a short period of time, you'll see that it's not going to satisfy you. And the reason is, I just talked about it. You've broken yourself up in different simulations. So now, for example, you moved away from a human being a woman, or a man being a CEO, or somebody that just has sacrificed themselves for whatever success, right? 3 steps over. You're going to be that human, that's a woman, that's now created a simulation that's trying to enjoy life. It doesn't fucking work that way, guys. That this people, they have all these concepts on how this stuff works, and then they get bad results. The reason why you're getting bad results, it's not like you're dumb or anything like that. It's just that your objective, or your solution for the problem, it's not about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and all that stuff. It's what simulation, or what time frame, or what reality that you're doing it in. Okay. So if you were that human and you stayed here, and then you expanded yourself into, oh, I'm a identity or a simulation of a woman in this reality, right? You'd experience it wholeheartedly here. You'd experience it in your inner core, your inner being. I call this your inner expansion, by the way, which is my book coming up, hopefully this year. So, and then it's really cool. It's like you are one. You are a human experiencing being a woman, or a man experiencing being a CEO. And the more you experience being that CEO, the more expansive you get, because that's just one vehicle you're using to experience reality here, to experience time and space here. Okay. So you're using time and space just right. We're going to get more and more into how time and space affects pretty much everything that you do. Okay. I mean, everything that you do, even the atoms that create you. So, all right. So now we've got the logistics, because XI physics is very, very different than anything that's out there. I'm not trashing anything that's out there, but without XI physics underneath it all, you're not going to go as far as you need to. And that's why a lot of those modalities, again, they're not wrong. It's just that they don't go as deep as the XI physics does. Right? So in this Moss on Sundays, now we got the logistics done. On this Moss on Sundays, why it's really not a good idea to create goals for yourself in the new year. That's why a lot of the things that people do, right? New Year's resolutions and, all these things that they've listed that everybody, right? Even those great individuals that, are what do you call them? Self-improvement gurus and all that, right? Write your goals down. It's New Year's resolutions. But did you guys know by the end of the January, most, and I'm talking about 95 to 98%, have gone back to their old patterns. Okay. Why is that? Well, the reasons why I explained a little earlier, you're trying to change the simulations of you. You're not trying to get back to your inner self. So that's the main reason why. But and it makes it a lot harder for you to reset yourself because you're rendering that simulation that dictates you experience that simulation, whatever it is. Say abuse, lack of funds, not getting enough love, not getting enough healthy. That's a simulation of you. It's not a psychological issue that you have. Okay. So that's one key. XI is about changing the simulation, changing that channel of who you are, not setting another goal in the simulation or in the reality that you're in. Okay. Highly important. That's why so many of you get so fantastic results. I change your channel. I don't change your psychology. Okay. Although that stuff is needed after you change, your rendition of who you are. So that's why goal setting. So in this in this Moss on Sunday, I'll give you one key trait, one key trait that's self-improvement, highly successful individuals, including the 1%, don't know that they need. And then 2, how to utilize the mistakes of 2021 to make you more unshakable for 2022. And then we'll jump into a hyper meditation on that. Okay. The one thing that you don't want to do is create a New Year's resolution. Okay? New Year's resolutions, set goals for yourself and so on like that. So what is the reason for that? Because everybody says, you need to create a New Year's resolution. Well, this is the time. And, I study the mathematics or the physics of how this reality works, time and space. And I study it from an outside perspective. Again, I've had 2 near-death experiences, so I study from an outside perspective, and that's why you can see it clearly. When you're in the fray, you can't see it as clearly. And so you want to go through what has created, say, nature, for example. Nature is very successful. Okay. And I'm not saying we just go back to our simple version of who we are, go back to Stone Age days and so on like that. But we use the technology of nature, or we use the technology of the universe that's been created, right? It's taken millions or trillions of years to come to this level of awareness. And it's been very successful. The only thing, or the only species that is basically fucking up is what? Humans. So why is that? Again, because we think we're better than nature. We think we're better than the billions of, say, years of knowledge that's morphed itself into, say, a precision frequency, a precision protocol, right? Standard operating procedures. Humans don't have that standard operating procedures, if you're in the business world, right? We don't. We're all over the place. We're trying to figure this stuff out, especially after I don't know how long humans have been around, but after a hell of a long time, we're still trying to figure this out. In fact, we're still trying to figure out a better version of immunity, although the immunity that we have internally has been around for millions of years. It's top notch. You're not going to get a replacement for it, by the way. Okay. I'm not saying anything, but just think about it. Also with recreating yourself. Okay. So the reason why you don't want to do New Year's resolutions right now is because it's wintertime. So and you might think this is woo-woo and all that stuff. It's not. XI removes the woo-woo-ness and goes right into the physics on why I call this winter time. Uh, um, and I'm not the woo woo type, by the way, or the spiritual type, or those. It's like you pray to the earth god, you pray to the winter god, you pray sun god. I'm not like that, and that's where the misconceptions of all this happen. Right? You're either one extreme or the other. But if you go into the logistics on how this reality is created, the self, without your misconceptions, you'll understand that wintertime at a frequency level, okay, is a time of death. It's a time of, say, burying old stuff, like you bury, right? Old stuff, like in the fall, you let stuff go. You shed away those things. We do that in the wintertime. Winter does it. Nature does it in the fall season. So you'd want to get in line or in tune with nature, right? Because you have a lot of momentum. Because again, the waves of, say, nature or universal time, and it's not just nature. It'll wash through nature as well, right? It cleanses you out. It literally cleanses you out, and it's got a lot of momentum. So when, say, nature is letting go or shedding, like through fall, right? Dropping the leaves, the things that didn't work out last year, the things that were good for us, but still not needed anymore, right? We let it go. That's what we do. This stuff. We do what humans do now. We should do that in the fall. This is a time of, again, burying things. This is a time of letting go things. This is a time of death. Which means if you understand death right, you'll understand life right. So you want to set your intentions closer towards the springtime, because that's what the universe does. Again, it's all pretty much a program. It's an operating system. You want to follow the operating system of the universe. So this is a time where you see all those things. You don't really want to create new goals right now. But what you want to do is you want to observe. You actually want to do that a few months back, by the way, October, so to speak. You want to observe all those things that aren't you, okay? Right down to the dirty detail. You want to observe all those things that aren't you, and you just watch them shed away. And by winter time, it's a death of those old things. So what happens logistically or physics wise is that you go, oh, when you pay attention to something, and it's like, shit, that's not me, right? Many of you ex-hires do this, right? You start to realize it's like, wow, that's not me. And then over time, you naturally transition into your new self. You necessarily don't even have to set goals, by the way. A better version of you, calculated by your inner self of what you need, comes forward. That makes sense to you. So New Year's resolutions or goal setting actually comes from an internal value, until you're at a higher level where you can actually direct your purpose properly. Otherwise, what you're creating is from things between your ears here. It never works out well, because if it does, it takes a lot of willpower, and that's not you. Okay. So in this scenario, this is a time of death. This is a time of looking at all those things. So what I want you to do, if you want to do this, okay, you can do whatever you need to do. But if you really want to do this New Year's right, write down all those things that aren't working for you. Say if you're overweight, I'm overweight. Or I'm too skinny, I'm skinny. Just whatever. You don't have, you can write the details of it down if you want. Not necessarily though. I would just leave it more vague for you. And it's just like, I have, my relationship sucks. Simple as that. How many people, they won't admit that their relationship sucks? Their relationship with money, with God, with whatever. They don't, it's like, well, it's because I had a bad childhood. And because of that, my relationship sucks with everything. Okay. So when we do that, you won't let go of it. Simple as that. That's why you just go, hey, my relationship sucks. Because when you create an excuse for it, you're basically authorizing your higher self to go, oh, well, that excuse should exist for me still here. Okay. Whatever happened to you in the past, it's like, it's still a valid excuse for me to live the life here, logistically, okay, programming wise. So that's why you never go again, when you're trying to let go of stuff, don't try to validate what's happening to you. Just observe what's happening to you now. Okay. Obviously, most likely what's happening to you now is a cause of this. And it was valid at the time. That's the key. Okay. It was valid at the time. Say you got abused and I don't know, you hide from everybody. There might be somebody on the call, by the way. Right. You hide from everybody. You're a recluse now because you're not sure how. There's just one or two. Who is that? Let's help you out for the new year. Since you're coming out so strong, you really want to enjoy life. So whoever that is, I'm tapping into live. And it's a good idea to listen to Moss on Sundays live. But the next best thing is listening to it as a recording. It'll still work on you, the frequencies that I'm generating, by the way. So that individual, like I said, the reason why it's hard for you to let go is because it was validated at the time when you were a young person. Okay. You're still living in the past. So it's still a valid reason for you to hide here, okay, in your current position. No matter what it is, you didn't make a lot of money because of X. That's a valid reason back in the day. Now it's a valid reason that's holding you back. Okay. So what you do is just like, hey, my relationships suck. Or, I'm a recluse. Whatever it is, don't set the goal, I want to make money. Okay. Just say, hey, I don't have enough money right now. So you just point it, just straight out point it. I don't have enough money, or I don't make enough money. And that's it. Just use it non-emotional as possible. Okay. It's just a coding system. And then you'll start to realize why all this stuff from the past will come forth. Okay. And if you guys want, we can do a higher advanced goal setting, maybe towards the end of January, okay, into February. That's a better time for you. So some of you going, I think it's me. It could be a lot of you, but I'm just tapping in on one that's really, say, intense like that. So one, you don't want to set goals right now. Okay. You don't want to go, I'm going to make, I don't know, $1 million this year, because right now is a space of death for you. Literally, frequency wise, it's a space of death because you need to let go. You have cycles, by the way. Your cycles, you can't really control your cycles. It'll disorient you. I was in the Amazon, Peruvian Amazon, and within a day, nature took over my cycle. It's just like you slept when the sun set, you woke up when the sun rise. Literally, it's just like boom, boom. It was amazing and it was perfect. And we were in tune with things. It was fantastic energy. So follow the cycles of the universe, because it's like the wind on your back, not against you. Okay. So that's that one thing. So now we know why it's not a good idea to set goals, because it's a time of death. It's a great idea to list down all the things that you don't like. Okay. And not from a judgmental point of view, by the way. I just want to stress. Okay. And if you are criticizing yourself for where you are in life, fucking write that down too. I'm too judgmental. I'm too emotional. Write down those negative emotions that control you. I always feel guilty. I always feel shameful. I always feel whatever, all those religious patterns are, right? That you don't want. All those things that you hate about yourself and about your life. Just write it down. Okay? And then one of the best ways to do that, and this is for the Total Human Reset people, starting on the 3rd, I believe, right? So tomorrow, Total Human Reset starts. Guys, you still have time to join in if you really want to transform your life in 18 days, literally 18 days, pretty much all aspects of your life. We've got a nutritionist. She's going to cleanse you out. It's a time of cleansing, right? And that's why we chose Total Human Reset as a cleansing mode this time. This is getting rid of all of your garbage, all your toxins in your body. Okay, so we're going to start out spiritual toxins, psychological toxins, emotional toxins, physical toxins. Again, helping you eat right, helping you eat proper, because you need to be in the best possible shape for the new year to hold on to higher frequencies. It's not just about something here. Okay. All right. So that's that. And then also, if something hasn't worked out in the past for you guys, just face it. Don't go, God, I'm going to try that one more time. Okay? Most people don't know how to try it one more time. Most people do the exact same process one more time. Successful individuals go, and this is getting into step 2. We'll get into the second phase where we utilize the mistakes of 2021 to make you more unshakable. Again, what most people do is like, damn it, something didn't work, whatever it is, I'm going to try harder this next year. How many of you said that? Right? I'm just going to try harder this next year. I'm just going to push more. I'm just going to have more willpower, and I know that it'll break through. That's insane. It really is. Smart people, or some people might call them lazy, or successful people, that actually, if you look at people who failed, like Elon Musk or me, or gosh, a lot of those individuals, they go back to their drawing board. Even if you've seen, I was watching this movie. It's called Marie Curie. It's like a 1950s movie. It's one of the best movies actually I've ever seen. But she went back, and a lot of her science experience didn't work the first time out. So she tried, for years, but she didn't do the same experiment over and over again. Can you get that down? Is it Marie Curie? Can you have the team text it to the team so they can put it on? It's really a great black and white movie, guys. It's gorgeous. It's so romantic. Actually reminded me of Faye and I, by the way. But anyway, successful individuals, they go back to the chalkboard and go, shit, what the hell happened? What's going on here? They don't go blindly. They don't go, I'm just going to fucking tear through it this time. Because the wall that you're trying to push through will actually get thicker for you. And it doesn't work out well. It doesn't work out well. Right? So successful individuals, what they do is they look at their black box. Do you guys know what a black box is? It's in airplanes. The number one reason why airplanes are so safe is because they have a black box. It records everything that's happened. The plane crashes. Back in the day, there was a lot of plane crashes, right? Right. There's a lot of plane crashes. The reason, and so what do? They looked into the black box, and they started to realize things that they never would have fathomed on why that plane crashed. So do you get into the granular details on why your life is, say, crashing? You just don't rebuild that plane again and go, this time, damn it, it's going to fly better. That's what basically you're saying when you blindly go into 2022. Look back. I feel guilty if I don't give 150%. Absolutely. When you have success, by the way, just analyzing you, when people have success and they've done that much to create success, they're not happy, because now they go, well, because your success or your feeling good about yourself becomes giving you 150%. So you're at the pinnacle of your success, say in your industry. There's not much more to go. You can't really give 150% anymore, because it's just literally the limit of your industry, right? You'd have to expand beyond your limitless self. Again, your inner expansion, the book. But most people don't create success that way. So they give 150%. They've reached the pinnacle. They'll have to crash and burn. Or sometimes they commit suicide at that level. It's like, hey, I have nothing more to give. I feel empty. And that's why their success doesn't, say, fulfill. They'll crash. They'll go back down. How many people do you know, really popular, commit suicide? It's the number one reason why. How many people do you know, you get to a certain level, right? And then you have to say, lose that money, lose your success, you lose your love, you start all over again, and then you start back up again. Right? That's the reason why, right? Because you have to give 150%. This is why those successful individuals that do become successful in this method, where it's just like sheer willpower, it doesn't work out for them. Okay, those people that do get successful, but most people, they don't have that willpower to bulldoze through. Right, those people that become gladiators, if you know what I mean, so to speak, uh, those individuals, you know what I mean, they have to be a gladiator. Well, once you're successful, you stop being a gladiator, and then what do you do? Right. This is where somebody was saying burnout. Absolutely, you'll feel burnout. Um, so it's not the right way to do it. Again, so what I ask you to do, like what I was asking you the first time around, on the first step for this year, and do it today, by the way, earlier the better, right? Might as well face the ugliness of your life right now. Okay, I'm not criticizing you, by the way. Everybody has ugliness, right? Face it. I did. That's what I'm going to do today, right after this, by the way. Just get rid of all the garbage that I didn't want. Okay, and then just let it go. That's the key, guys. You let it go. You don't go, how do I fix this? Because if you knew at a psychological level, it would have already been fixed. The problem lies deeper. So you write down your stuff, you write down your notes, okay? You forget about it, you go about, and you'll start to see why all these things happen to you. When you start to see all these things, don't criticize yourself, don't judge yourself. It's a black box. You know, criticizing, judging, creating an excuse, right? For all that stuff that's happened to you is basically looking into that black box and then going, that's not true. It's a black box. It records everything that happened to you in its truth. So when stuff starts to hit you, don't blame me. It's just your success mechanism kicking in. It's like, hey, the stuff's coming out at you. And by the way, we do the total human reset today, tonight, personal optimization. It's on consciousness. Again, raising you to that higher consciousness, so you can look back, so you see all that garbage that's holding you back from a lower level. In fact, that's a perfect opportunity for you to jump on the call tonight. It's called, again, personal optimization. It's consciousness. Is tonight at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. Right? It's a perfect opportunity for you today to write down that whole list and get as detailed as possible if you want. Not detailed in a way of the logistics of the problem, but the minute things that bother you about yourself. Okay, not about other people. And if you think it's other people, I have, my spouse. I can't get along with my spouse. What is it in me that's allowing the relationship with my spouse to continue on? Okay, so that's the kind of questions that you want to ask yourself. Okay, you don't like something about somebody. Again, what is it in me that allows blank to happen, or blank to continue on in my life? Because you are the master controller. If you're blaming other, and you can blame, I'm not saying they're not to blame. That's not the point. But you lose control, because it's like you have to wait for them to change. How many times does that happen? You have to take the bull by the horns, okay, and go, okay, what is it in me that's allowing this to happen? So write it out that way. Okay, not like, oh, my husband or my spouse sucks. That won't get you anywhere. You can even replace your spouse, and then the same relationship happens. That's the reason why, because you're still running that internal pattern. So again, what is it in me that's allowing X pattern to happen? Okay, very simple. So write down all those things. What is it in me that's allowing me to stay out of shape? What is it in me that's allowing whatever? So you can do it that way. Okay. And I'll write that whole sentence down for each one, not just what is it in me and this, write it down, and you'll really intensify. And then by the time you get into This personal optimization coming up tonight, we'll turn it into a non-goal setting event, basically for you all. Okay, a non-goal setting event on how to do it right. We'll help you get rid of all that stuff tonight. Get you ready for total human reset. And then frequency spa is on Monday, January 10th. That's coming up. It'll allow you to really revitalize who you are. And it's not just in external beauty, but it's that external beauty that's coming up. And then personal deprogramming, that's on Sunday, January 30th. So by the 30th, guys, you're really ready to set goals because you've eliminated all this garbage. Okay? Another way of most people, and then we'll get into the frequency scans for y'all. Another example of how most people set goals, even if the self-improvement gurus tell you this, okay, this is what you're doing, okay, and this is why it doesn't work out well, is that say your house, it's just broken down and you need to fix it a lot. You didn't fix the infrastructure of the house, like the plumbing and the electrical and all that. What you did was, shit, I don't like this furniture. That's why this house is uncomfortable. I'm going to replace my furniture. You're still going to have the same underlying problems, right? So that's what goal setting now is what I'm saying is like, hey, let's revamp your system first. It takes a little longer, but not really. It's actually the shortest possible way because you're not going to have to fix it later on. You fix it once. That's what successful people do, by the way. There's a saying, there's never time to do things right, but there's always time to do it again. Okay. So think about that. So take your time to do it right this time around. All right. So we went through what it's not a good idea to set goals right now. We went through the black box scenario, gave you an exercise to do for that. The one key trait, we didn't go through that self-improvement, highly successful individuals, including the 1%ers, don't know that they need. Okay. Well, most everyone who is doing success is doing it wrong. So I'll say that again. Okay. And because that's a bold statement and I back my statement up. Most everyone who's doing success, they're doing it wrong. Okay. Like I said, it's a bold statement. Look at the population, look at the world leaders, look at the business leaders, look at the religious leaders, look at anybody. That paradigm should not exist. Okay. So if you're not liking, say, the political realm or the thought leaders that are controlling this reality and the situation that they've got us into and the situation that the masses have gotten themselves by listening to those people because they weren't awake. Again, we're all in it here. Is because of that. They're doing success wrong. They're stepping outside of themselves, not going into their inner expansion. So that's the key. The initiation call actually is tomorrow, by the way, I believe. Yeah. Total human reset. And correct me if I'm wrong, team. Okay. Somebody's looking for the initiation call for the total human reset. So thanks. So again, people do success wrong. People do happiness wrong. People do all those things that are supposed to bring them joy, basically wrong. Okay. What they do is that point A, right? They're point A. And I've discussed this a bit. I'll just discuss it a bit more because it seems like you all need to hear it again from a different point of view. Actually, a lot of you have changed. So yeah, initiation call is tomorrow to start the program. Okay. So you haven't missed it. But anyway, you're in point A. You want to be that successful individual over there, point B or D or whatever it is out there. So you go, what do I have to do to create myself there? Okay. That's how we do it wrong. But then we go there, remember in that example, like you're human. Okay. And that's not even a correct version of you. You're actually a higher level frequency rendering yourself as human. Okay. The woman, and then the CEO. How many steps are you off? What you want to do, you expand. You want to expand into, you stay in point A, but you expand your consciousness to include point whatever that you want to be. And that's how you feel more fulfilling for you. Okay. So success and happiness starts from within. By the way, success, it's not a destination in this physical world. It's not an identity. Okay. And the underlying reason why they call success, say, a journey, real success, it's basically a point in the fourth dimension. If that makes sense to you. Okay. So and this is where people get it wrong, and this is higher level XI. So if you don't get it, it's okay. You're in the coordinate, XYZ, okay, in the fourth dimension of space-time. In this coordinate or in this point, you're rendering yourself as a simulation of somebody who's being battered or tattered or out of luck or not good looking, whatever it is. You're rendering yourself here. Okay. And this is where the fallacy happens for many individuals. They go, I have to create myself there. And they do, but they don't do it at the level that they need to do it. They do it at the physical level. So they have to, say, move out of their space and again, create themselves over there. But it's a facade because they're still rendering themselves in point A. Does that make sense to you? So again, success and happiness is a point in time. It's a location in the fourth dimension. It's not a consciousness. It's not psychology. It's not how much you have in the bank or how little you have in the bank. It literally is a location in the fourth dimension. And that's why we need to move from point A to point B at a physical level. But what we really need to do is we need to move from this simulation to that simulation. Does that make sense? Which is located in another point in the fourth dimension. It's not your career or anything. So that's the mishap. Right? So, and I think that all sums it up for you. Okay? I love higher levels of XI. It is so fun understanding the mechanics. I love the science. I'm glad he said that, Sage, because in this new year, I'm going to be talking about the logistics of how the mechanics, the physics of XI. Okay. So you've got Newtonian physics, right? They couldn't figure out a lot of shit from Newtonian physics. Then quantum mechanics came about, right? Quantum physics. And now there's a lot of things that we still can't figure out, especially with the human identity. So the next phase deeper, which I'm delving into, is I'm calling it exponential intelligence physics, XI physics. So that's where you really want to go. Once you understand XI physics, quantum physics, that dictate, say, the quantum realm of this reality, the smaller particles of this reality that dictate the bigger versions, the Newtonian aspects of you. Once you understand this deeper level of who you are or your higher level, everything else works out really well. So yeah, this year is all about the logistics, spatial referencing. It's going to be a whole course on spatial referencing, beginning spatial referencing, which we do in the 18-day hyper meditations, intermediate spatial referencing for those people who are ready, and then even advanced spatial referencing. It'll blow you out of your mind, by the way, advanced spatial referencing. It's all about locations in the fourth dimension. It's got nothing to do with anything here or anything in this physical reality. All right, guys. All right. So let's go into scanning people. I just have to read this for you guys. Sajady with Exponential Intelligence, Sunday, January 2nd, 2022. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I can scan your frequency signature and tell you what I see. So please, if I give you medical advice, I'm not giving you advice. I'm just telling you what I see. Consult a professional. Okay. And that might not be your doctor, by the way. If you ask to be scanned today, you're agreeing that we may use your session in any public media to help inspire others. So remember, if you don't want us to scan you, or share your session, then easy, just don't ask to be scanned. Really simple. All contents are protected by copyright. You may not use our content in any way, shape, or form for any purpose without my written permission. And I say that because there's a lot of copycats. Even the high level, even the more popular people, I guess, are starting to use our content again. So they're not pure XI. Okay. So if it doesn't come from Sajady, Sajady.com, Sajady Inc. Again, you want to question where that content is. Okay, they start using XI vocabulary and all that stuff. Yeah, they could be students and all that stuff, but again, we haven't validated. So they still might be good, but again, we're not endorsing them in any way. All right. All right. By the way, we're working on that as well to figure out who is real XI compliant people. All right. So again, and the last thing is please request only once. So let's jump right in, shall we? This one, Roland. Yeah. Yes, you can scan. So Roland, for you, and again, the way my abilities work, I just tap into your IP address. Literally, we all have an IP address, no matter what you're sending out. Even if you used a fake name, it doesn't really matter. Might mess me up, at a physical level, man and woman, but that's a physical filters. But whatever you type in, even on a comment, it has your underlying IP address. It's like packets, you send an SMS, text or whatever, it has a packet on where it came from, right? Or information. That's what I tap into. So this one, Roland. So for you, it just seems like you're kind of new to XI, or you're newly awakening. You're going, shit, I get it. And now you're starting to understand, say, why your life is happening the way it is. And now it's like, damn, I got to change. So you're starting to come to a lot of realizations, which is really good. Continue on with what you're doing. I would definitely do total human reset, because that allows you to form a whole new identity of yourself. That whole new identity of yourself is, there's something about women that totally destroy you. Yeah, there's something. It's like your mom basically dominated you. That makes sense. Your mom basically dominated you, or somebody, and then now you have women that dominate you. Even the counter girl that's serving you coffee, if you started to get to know her, she would like control you. So this one side of your face, the left side of your face, feels like there's another feminine. So for example, say your mother might be long gone, but you're always seeing the world through, say, your mother's frequency or how she would see the world. So she still controls you. So let's just disconnect. By the way, it's just not an analysis. It literally is, I'm giving you a mini session. So for you, Roland, and for all the other people who have similar frequencies, and again, that's why you want to be here live. Okay. Although the sessions actually do work as a recording, but there's scientific proof that my frequencies have changed DNA by over 300% on live. And then on a recording, it's changed by about, say, 200%, which is still a hell of a lot, right? So it's still good, but you get the real deal. This it says JJ Moskin. I actually had somebody that worked for us named JJ, probably not the same one, but Moss, can you scan me? Sure. So for you, I don't know if you have digestive issues, but something going on in your midsection there, or you hold on to this older identity of who you are. So when you get really scared or when you're alone, this thing inside you really comes forth, JJ. You got to let that go. So let's help you let that go. Take a deep breath in, because if you think you let that go, it's like your real identity. If you think you let that go, it seems like you're going to disconnect from things, or people are going to leave you and all that. In reality, that thing that you're holding on to doesn't make for fulfilling relationships and so on. So there's still there's an emptiness in you, or there's a disconnect. Yet what you want to do is I would have a private session. I know my sessions are booked out for a few months, but just get on the waiting list. We'll get you in. We're also figuring out how to do private sessions as a group level as well, by the way. So, all right. So yeah, for you, JJ, let's help you release whatever that is. And it's not even yours, by the way. It's almost like if you want to call it a previous lifetime, or, something that happened to somebody else in your lineage. Right? Moss, this one is from Sunnywood. Please scan my son, Ethan. Thank you. Not exactly sure how old they are, but they seem like a younger version of themselves. So if there are, yeah, and that's why I ask, children, if you ask me to work on your kids, put their age down, because I see their spiritual age, their frequency age. Okay. So was it Ethan? Ethan might be older from what I'm seeing. Okay. Yeah. Ethan might be older, but he feels like a 13, 14, 15-year-old. So something must have happened to him, which froze him in time. Okay. A lot of, unfortunately, kids, um, parents don't do a lot of things right, but they don't do divorce right. They don't do death right. They don't do all those things. And then when you're a kid, it rattles, say, the train of time that kid is on, right? So they literally get knocked off the train of time. Or if you've ever noticed kids who are just bright, they're really resilient. Does that make sense to you? Because they're in the train of time. They can heal, they can recover from even physical injuries really fast. Why? Because they're in the present moment time. I help older people get into on that train of time, and they heal faster and so on like that. Same thing. Okay. It's not just for kids. But what happens is, say, a divorce. Again, kids are really resilient because they're on that time. And then what happens, they get knocked off for some reason. Usually the parents. Parents are usually lost, and then they hold on. So basically, Ethan, I'm not going to name names, but anyway, it's like he was an anchor for not just one person, but two people, from what I'm seeing. It's almost like a tug of war inside him. He always gets pulled different directions, from what I'm seeing. So again, it's the parents' issues, not necessarily Ethan's issues, but they get knocked off the train of time, and it's like, shit, what the hell happened? Why did my life just like end? How many of you as a child were really brilliant, and then something happened, and it's like your life got totally fucked up, right? So that's the reason why. Is it the situation that caused it? Yes, of course. But the underlying reason on why it happened, you got knocked off the train of time. Now you have to support yourself. And that's what most kids, unfortunately, feel like. That's what Ethan's going on. So in this mini session, I was helping whoever asked says, please scan my son. So the parent of Ethan, you've got head issues or headaches. You're always in your head, by the way. You need to drop down into your body, which will actually help Ethan. So even if Ethan, again, is older, if you did, again, total human reset, or 18 days or whatever, he would change. Especially if he was younger, he would still change, because you've changed, because you're still connected or merged on that. Okay. This one is from Kalina. Is it sacral trauma, addiction, and abuse distortions? Yes, absolutely. The addiction series, guys, you can still take it. We're probably, I don't know, halfway through, or almost, yeah, halfway through or three-quarters through, something like that. It's still time for you to get in. You can still take it for you, which I would suggest for you, by the way, because you're really ready to release this year. Okay. Do the live ones, and then go back and do the ones that I've done already as a recording. It'll still be really very beneficial for you. The addiction series, for many of you, by the way, I would do the total human reset, and those people who are addicted, I would go back. I would do the total human reset, give it a little bit, and then go and do the addiction series. Okay? If you haven't done so, those people who are addicted. Can I get a scan here? Mario Corta? Yeah, sure. So Mario, yeah, for you, um, one of your parents, and again, if I read you, if I analyze you, scan you, please comment in on the accuracy. I know I'm accurate, but it just makes it more real for you all to go, shit, there's something out there that's more real than this reality. Because it is. So for you, Mario, yeah, for you, there's somebody who passed away with like circulation issues, heart issues, that, or a blockage, or I don't know, cancers or whatever, but it's like the upper chest, not like here, but the upper chest. So whoever that is, you're still carrying the burdens of that person, by the way, Mario. So let's help you release that. This is where you're a fantastic being, but it's almost like the burdens of life, so to speak. You see the blessings of life, and I'm at more, you see the blessings of life, but it's like, it's the blessings are out here all the time. And it's like, God, you know what? I have to give more of myself. I have to do more of God's work. I have to do more of that stuff. I have to burden myself. Right. So basically, the more blessings you experience, your equation is the more blessings you want to experience, the more burdens you'd have. It doesn't work out that way. Again, a lot of, say, religious or really, really nice people are like that. So that's that aspect. So basically, the reason why you have these burdens, again, sure, go help people and all that, but the underlying value for you, Mario, is that we got to let go of these burdens here. And that burden is from, again, somebody who died of whatever failure in the upper chest. You're still carrying their patterns. Fortunately, when people carry those patterns like that, then over time, they start getting those similar patterns as well. So what I was helping you with, Mario, is just releasing that, basically that heaviness that's with you all the time. Okay? People experience that heaviness and then they go, well, I got to go do God's work. It's you can do God's work. By the way, God doesn't need you to do its work. It needs you. It don't want to get into this, but people do God's work all the time, right? There's countries that fight and kill other people to do God's work, to bring peace about. Don't do God's work that way. It doesn't fucking work, right? People want to save other people by condemning them, right? Hey, we're doing this because that group, or we're cleansing this group because the rest of us have to. That's not God's work, by the way. That's just your bullshit on and then attaching it to something honorable. You don't want to do that. That doesn't work. Heal yourself, heal the world. What God really wants you to do, heal yourself. Literally, that's all God wants you to do. Heal yourself. Everything else literally takes everything else takes care of itself once you're healed. Imagine if there was 7.8 billion people who were healed. Would we have any of the bullshit that's happening here? We don't. That's why this XI movement, it literally is becoming a movement. We have to awaken. And we're not pushing other people and destroying them or controlling them like all the other movements out there. No, we're just working on our own selves. We're expanding ourselves. And then when we expand, it's contagious, right? That's the kind of virus you want to have, an awakening virus, by the way. I don't know how that came about, but I was saying February, a live event in Miami. I think details are there, but that's what it's about. It's two events. One, working with the best you. So that's going to be really good. And then I have my own event afterwards. You can connect with me live. It's really nice to get together, right? After all this bullshit here. So that's coming up in February. So take a look at that. Moss, could you please scan myself and my 3 children? They're age 5, 7, and 12. Sure. So Rachel, you tend to gravitate. You are, say, kind of needy, so to speak, and you need other people around you all the time. So the more children you have, basically, the more, connected you are. So basically, it's like, let's think of it this way, Rachel. It's like you have a lot of things around you. Okay. You might be that person that might have, like, I don't know if 10 purses are a lot, but 10 purses, or like a whole bunch of shoes, or it's just like you have a lot of everything. Does that make sense to you? And the reason why you would have that. Even with your kids, you probably want to have more. And three isn't a lot. I've got six, but still, the reason why you have those kids, okay? Again, it's not the quantity, but the reason why. Okay, one might be a lot for someone, but I'm just saying the reason why you would have more and more is because you think you're safer with more and more. Okay, and then so that's one reason, and then the other, so you're always guaranteed to have something, and then the other aspect of it is that you know if you have one, things start to fade away, right? It's not as potent. Say you buy something and you're really excited about that something, right? And then over time that fades, and then it's like, well, I'll just get another one, right? And so that's the underlying reason why you recreate or you hold on to things. You hold on to things. You don't let them go easy. That's another reason. So take a breath in. So when that happens, you're always waiting for that something to, say, depreciate in value so you can buy or get something else. Let's think of it that way. So it'll never create safety for you, by the way. This is, say you have $1 million. Okay, an extreme version, it's like, shit, I need 10 million. And then you have 10 million, it's like, no, I need 1 billion. And then you got 10 billion, it's like, damn, I need more. So that's that pattern. Anyway, take a deep breath in, hon. Let's just put you into time, because you're really, basically what's happening is that you stay here, that precious thing that you like, and you just, adore your kids. The precious thing that you love keeps you in time, but then over time, they'll create drama and so on because you're pulling out of time, or you'll create drama for them, vice versa. So for your kids, when I see them, they're in a state of flux all the time. And it's hard when people are in a state of flux, or kids are in a state of flux, to control them, or herd them in. So they're like kind of like herding cats. They're like all over the place. And you go, oh, shit, I need to discipline. I need to be more disciplining and all that. It's not. You just need to render yourself in time and stabilize yourself here. And that's what I'm helping you with. Spatial referencing, by the way. This month's Total Human Reset. You can learn about that. You stand strong, and your kids are young enough. You go, shit, mom's really stable here. She's synchronous. Does that make sense? Synchronicity is really important for you, by the way. And then as you come in, take another deep breath in, Rachel. So as you stabilize yourself, your kids, especially I think the 7-year-old, so he or she, again, he feels, okay, that, again, I'm not good with, I read the underlying frequency, so I'm very accurate at the underlying frequencies, but the physical frequencies might be, different. So that middle child basically runs a masculine frequency, although that child might be a girl, but it's a masculine frequency, which really messes her up if she is a girl, because this pattern, so physically or chromosome wise, she's yeah. And again, it might not be this example, but this is where kids get messed up. So I see her as a more masculine frequency. So she might be a girl. Okay. So, and then they get confused. It's like, well, am I a girl or am I a boy? So, and it's kind of like 50-50. So that, and again, Rachel, comment in if that's accurate. So, or it's flipped. Say that that middle child is a boy, but then an aspect of her would be female. Does that make sense? So either way, it's a switch back and forth. So what that happens is it creates confusion. And then also that middle child is very sensitive because they go into this, say, different other realities. That is kind of confusing. So again, it's all about you going, hey, this is the reality that you need to be in. And then all your kids will work out. So if you did a session, I could work on them and then bring them into time because it's easier. And then you'll see how it does work. Right? And then you'll be happy. Even now, you'll just be more content, by the way. It's really hard for you to hold on to like long relationships right? Because you're always needing some kind of drama or something to happen to keep that relationship sustainable, or you have several relationships, so to speak, or it'll feel like you have several relationships with that one person you're with. So this one, Cassandra would love a scan transition to business. Yes. So Cassandra, you're really ready for that. So congratulations again, probably doing XI. You're at a level. You're not completely ready. You're like 3/4 in, but yeah, getting into more business paradigms. So again, you would want to take a look at. You're really a great materializer. Yeah, you're really a great materializer. So what that means is that you can look at somebody and then go, what is it in me? What is it in them that I admire? But the problem that you have, Sandra, is like, I like that person. But then what you do is you absorb all of that person. And as you absorb all of that person, what happens? You absorb all their garbage. And that's what's held you back. Okay. Or if you're really close with somebody, you'll absorb all their garbage. And then it's like you filter out the things that you don't need. What I would suggest is literally, and I can help you with this again, is like, I admire that, whatever that one thing in that person, but all this other stuff, what if we could just filter it out before it came into you, right? That'd be a lot better, right? Because now you don't have to wash or cleanse yourself. That's why you push away people, by the way, as well. So yeah, so you're filtering everybody in and then spitting out the stuff that you don't like. Okay? And that's why, friends, you'd rather be alone or more, say, although you need people, because again, you need people to sustain, right? Although you don't like people, which is kind of weird at the same time. But this is the reason why. This gives you that logic. So what I'm helping you with is filtering things at first where, one, you can't absorb other people's garbage, even if you wanted to. Two, allowing you to go, oh, breaking down their frequencies. I call it their frequency signature. It's like, oh, it's just this one thread of frequency that I really like in that person, not all this other stuff, and then you hold on to that one thread and then you copy it into you. And then you become a stronger version of yourself. So I say this because in the business world, there's a lot of fantastic people. They might not be the best personal wise or their personal life, but they have a lot of success mechanisms that you could copy, Sandra. So, and by the way, we do do business type sessions for those individuals for their companies, as a group. A lot of times people come to me as like, hey, Moss, our higher executive team wants to get all connected. So it'd be great if any of you are like that. That'd be, so contact our customers. We don't readily say that because we're just backed up a little bit, even on that. But contact customers at Sajady if you want, say, a business, a discovery call for yourself. This one for Christopher Lamb. Hey, buddy, please scan me. So for the New Year's, you're really letting go of your old self. You're really shedding all your old self. Before, Christopher, from what I'm seeing, it's like, you're the type of person. It's like, well, I'm just going to hold on to this just in case I need it, but I'm going to try this, right? So say that you bought a new bike, for example, right? A new bike. It could be a new phone or whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it's like, I'm just going to hold on to this one in case I have to return, this one in case the new one breaks down, right? So that kind of scenario for you. So, so you've changed quite a bit dramatically through XI. So congrats on that. But it's like I'm just holding on to this now, though, Chris, what's happening, which is really cool for you. It's like, you know what? I've run this pattern long enough to know that this is more solid than this whatever was. I don't even need this anymore. So you are going to clean out a lot in January. I suggest a lot of you copy Christopher's pattern. You're going to be cleaning out your house. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff. Again, people do spring cleaning wrong. Spring cleaning is like the soil, again, in farmer terms, soil should be set, should be ready to go. You're going to plant the seeds. That's what spring is for. Cleaning, winter, you want to do that in the wintertime because it's a space of death. Okay. Spring is more of growth. So that's what you're into, Christopher. So congratulations again. Just let go of those things that you don't need, right? Even concepts and even fear, for example, or security. So security for you is a little different as well. Again, security meant, a good job or money in the bank and all that stuff, which is good. But the reason why that doesn't work out for many, right? People who are billionaires, they come to me and they go, Moss, I don't feel secure. It's like, yeah, but you're a billionaire. It's like, yeah, it doesn't make me. That's what I'm talking about. Security comes on the inside. Okay. It's your inner expansion. Security comes on the inside. Happiness comes on the inside. And then the $1 billion that you have in the bank or whatever that you have in the bank will actually make you feel secure. Get it? Without that, the reverse, it won't. It just won't. This one's really interesting. See, Nilo Bear. Hi, Moss. Please help my mother to let go of family patterns. Thanks. Yeah, about that. So, for you, you kind of are like Christopher. You're just seeing all the patterns that you're running, Nilo, from your mom and other people, and you're going, yeah, I need to help her. So no, it's actually better to go, yeah, and you've changed a lot again from XI, which is good, but it's like, yeah, I really need to let go. So let's help you release those family dynamics. And then if your mother wants to come along, because you've created, say, a perfect representation or a perfect, you've cleared the path for your mom. Okay. So once you clean up and it's completely let go, and that's what I'm helping you with. So take a deep breath in. What'll happen for you is simply that. What'll happen for you is that your mother will start to change. Okay. And there's going to be a separation of you and your mom. Okay. Because you're almost like almost, I would say, a cookie cutter pattern of your mom. Now, what you've done is like you've separated that identity. Now it's just that you need to let go of your mom, or your mom needs to let go of it. That's why you're asking. So I'm disconnecting that, say, connection that has, integrated you. And then what happens is that as you pull away, you get to see the beauty of your mom, and that relationship gets stronger the way it should be. Okay. Right now it's an enabling frequency. So congratulations on you're actually pulling yourself off. So we'll just take one more, guys. Hey, Moss, please help me break free. This is Sandra Kaya, Kaya. Yeah. So for you, Sandra, you have a masculine frequency about you. Okay. It's not that you're masculine, but you would carry the burdens, or men would accuse you of problems that they have. So say that you're in a relationship, right? You would carry, or they would make you would be at fault for the relationship happening for the way it is. Okay. So basically you get blamed for a lot of stuff, whether it's female or male, but most likely it's a masculine pattern. So that woman would run a masculine pattern, and then that woman would blame you. So it's a masculine pattern blaming you or pointing you. So even if you're in a situation, for example, it's not even your fault, right? Something's happening, you walk into the scene, people will go, Sandra did it. And it's like, wait a second, this was there before I even walked in, right? And again, comment in, Sandra, that's the case. It's like, and you'd get blamed for it. So you're always taking the blame. And if you don't get blamed, you'd go, was there something that I did that might have caused that? So it's that kind of pattern. And then you use a masculine pattern to like go, look, it wasn't me. So you're always pushing out this pattern that's not you all the time, which isn't really good. Because one, people don't see you for who you are. Two, you're always trying to reclaim yourself. Three, you're always trying to, and the underlying reason on why you do this, Sandra, it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but think about it. Take a breath in, Think about it. You and other people as well that might hit this. Take a breath in, hon. So the underlying reason why you're doing this is like, I am good enough to stay here. But in your family, women weren't, say, cherished as much. So it's like, shit. So one, you have a regret on being a woman. Two, it's like, and that regret actually comes from a father or a mother. Again, your sexes are mixed up. That said, shit, I wish we had a boy. And then even before your birth, they're thinking, God, it's a girl. I don't know if we want another girl. So that makes sense to you. So you're always basically pushing to go, I'm worthy. Look, I need to stay here. And these are the reasons why. So basically, you're getting blamed for, it's like your parents going, if it wasn't for Sandra, we could have been done X, Y, and Z. Or if Sandra was a boy, your father would go, I'd have more fun, that kind of pattern. So anyway, eliminating all that bullshit for you. Okay. You're here as a woman, as a young girl. And the reason why you're here as a young girl, because you were supposed to be here as a young girl. Simple as that. Okay. Um, there was one that was new. This one, hi Moss, what do we do with the list after we write it down? Yeah, just to clarify, hey buddy, it's nice connecting with you. Randy, guys, he's a great tile guy. Love him. He did my bathroom. Beautiful, beautiful work, by the way. So really good question. I think I kind of covered it, but anyway, you write the list down today for you guys, especially if you want to do the personal optimization tonight. Okay, so write it down and then put it away. Okay? Don't think about it, and then just observe your reality. Okay, and then about 4 or 5 days later, look at that list again, and then write more stuff down. Okay, and then about 4 or 5 days later, write more. Look at that list, and you'll start to see, like, you'll read that list, and it's like, oh fuck, this is the reason why this actually happened. And most of you, with you, Randy, too, you'll go, oh shit, when I was 22, that's when all this stuff started. So again, so what you want to do is write the stuff down, do the optimization, and then like every 4 to 5 days, I would just go back and revisit that list. Okay? And then by the time you are, end of January, you'll see a lot of those lists that you've created. It's like, you know what? That's not part of me anymore. Okay? It's really powerful goal setting the proper way. Okay? So I just let you in on a fantastic secret, by the way. So yeah. So hopefully that makes sense for you. Thanks for bringing that up. Really interesting. How do I make more money by not attaching worth? Your value to yourself is basically the more money you make. So if you feel undervalued right now, right? And people feel undervalued right now. It's like, well, if I make more money, then I'm going to be known, I'm going to be popular. But those kind of people, again, they never value themselves. So your attachment to your value, so enhance your value, money will naturally show up for you. The other way, like I said, even if money did show up, you'll feel less valuable. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people, the underlying reasons why there's a fear of success, because if you do become successful, all the weaknesses that you have magnify. Okay? So the talk today has been an excellent booster shot for me to continue move forward. You're so welcome, Arlene. I can't find that person. In a second. Anyway, all right, guys. So join me next week for Moss on Sunday. Again, bring as many live people as you can, because that's where the frequencies are more powerful, although the frequencies on a recording are just as powerful. All right, guys. So as we end, notice what you notice and then notice those details. All right. Peace. It's one of the best opportunities in history to awaken and reclaim who you really are. Any relationship starts with, that relationship with yourself. I'm actually here to change your underlying program on how you see yourself in relationships. What we do here in Xponential Intelligence is literally change you from the ground, or your main framework, okay? Your blueprint level.
As obviously works on a frequency level, and frequencies are like the A-bomb of healing, because they fundamentally change your structure from a biological, chemical point of view. Maz's frequencies, or Maz's meditations, they recalibrate that innate ability for a human being to come back towards homeostasis.
I think this type of thing, your work, XI, all that is a epigenetic factor. I think it is a great influence, because if you can turn a genome on, you can turn it off. And I think that with XI, with what you do, I think those are higher levels of a person that have not been turned on yet, that need to be turned on.
Right.
You can go in and hit like that little switch. Turn that on, and it might be something new for this person, because it's something different, but that's what we want. This is all what we're wanting, is a better way, a higher way of existing and living and being.